Right, I'm gonna rock out soon, but it's a bit early yet. So in treatment, man, I'm gonna continue on roughly from where it was. When I was been following it, it's the pilot. He dropped a bunch of. He dropped a bomb on a school in Baghdad, killed 52 kids and shit, and he has to go to therapy. And he thinks he's alright. So he thinks he's ready to go and fly again now, and he thinks he's over it, but his doctor don't think so. And we'll just go from here. Pretty easy to pick up as it goes. Amazing show, man. Just gonna try and get it going here without losing my shit. Basically, he thinks he's ready to go back. They've all given him the all clear, but he needs an okay from his doctor. His doctor thinks he's still too fucked up in the head. Like,
good on the simulators, but they kick my ass on the obstacle course. Call me old man and all that bullshit. Well, hey, I called it drill. Check this out. Now, the drill is called the Gauntlet. It's a 5-mile run through dense woods and sand traps and rope and barrier hurdles, balance beams, and a maze. Now, after all that, there's the Helo Dunker. Now, the Helo Dunker is like this giant, looks like a beer can. It's basically a crash simulator. And we hit the water hard, upside down, strapped in, tight. And we have to get out with almost no oxygen. We're in full gear, helmet, spacesuit, G-suit, gloves, the whole 9 yards. Now, there are 4 immersions. The last 2, the water's dark. It's like a night landing. And a lot of these kids, they get disoriented and start flipping the fuck out. So, we have to rescue them. It's tough. Separates the men from the boys, let me tell you. So, Doc.
this is funny. He's a funny bastard.
Do I really have to guess, Alex?
Touche.
He's such an arrogant cunt.
I never panic. I'm at home down there in the dark, swimming for my life.
Fucking great actor though, both of them. Oh, he's obviously great. Paul fucking
And not
Dean
only
Keaton and all that.
all their asses. I came within 2 seconds of a base record. Not bad for a broken down little pilot, huh? Huh? Come on, Paul. Okay, so a squadron commander calls me back up to his office. This time all the brass were there, and they want to know if I'm interested in going back to active duty. If I am, I have to go through a modified basic training in Pensacola, a battery of tests, physical, psychological, just to make sure I've recovered. So I said, bring it on, baby. I'm ready for anything.
Oh, you're not
Are you
convinced?
surprised?
Not convinced.
Well, a little, I guess. I shouldn't be, but I suppose it was always a possibility.
But you think it's too fast, right?
You think it's too fast?
Doc, you have no idea how good it feels to be useful again. I mean, to tell you the truth, I think that's been the real problem. I've been sitting around feeling sorry for myself. I'm a doer, not a talker. So all of this, that's over. Those days are over. So here's what I need from you. You're gonna get a call from one of your compatriots. He's a Navy doctor named Connell. He's gonna be checking up on me.
You told the Navy you were seeing me? I thought that was professional suicide.
Yeah, they caught wind that I had left the house, and they wanted to know if it had anything to do with the bombing and the aftermath. So I told them I'd been doing some counseling with you, my marriage, and I was fit as a fiddle.
You feel fit as a fiddle?
Look, Paul, don't fuck with me on this. You're talking about my career now. Just tell them all good things. Plus, the Navy needs me. You think they can afford to have someone like me just pissing around? Just tell them I'm ready.
Well, let's just talk about whether you are ready or not.
Look, hey, cut the crap. I need this.
You're putting me in a very difficult position, Alex. We talked about a lot more than Michaela. You don't expect me to lie, do you?
Okay, physically I'm fine. I had a heart attack almost 4 months ago. All the cardiologists say that they're amazed by my recovery. I can handle it.
But what about emotionally, Alex? Can you imagine yourself back on an airplane flying a mission after what happened?
What are you talking about, the Madrasa thing?
Look, the Madrasa thing is the crisis that brought you here in the first place. Are you sure that you're ready to put yourself in that kind of a situation again?
No, listen. Terrorists hide among civilians. It's a common tactic. It's their fault if there's collateral damage, not ours. They're the ones putting their women and children at risk.
Let's put aside the question of who's at fault or who isn't. Could you live with yourself if you were responsible for more civilian casualties?
It's bullshit.
Alex, you gave yourself a heart attack a few months ago. Can you honestly tell me that you're not worried, that you're not scared, that your guilt will lead to...
Guilt is not an issue for a pilot in a time of war. We're not trained to think that way.
I'm not asking what you think. I'm asking you to tell me what you feel.
And I'm telling you it doesn't matter. Let me see what this is. Sorry. Hey. It went fine. Yeah, they did ask me. No, I can't talk about that right now. Can I call you back? Okay, let me go. All right, I'm with somebody right now. Yeah, I will. Yeah, bye. Sorry. She wanted to know how the meeting with the brass went. You know, she's totally obsessed with me flying again. Well, you know that.
Why do you think she's so anxious for you to fly again?
Well, my little sabbatical upset her sense of order. If it was a couple of weeks, it'd be all right. I was taking a break, whatever. I told you we were having dinner to discuss me coming back home. Yeah, well, the heat is on. I don't think I can fight it any longer. Plus, it's what everybody wants.
Everyone?
Everybody, my father included. Well, you know, he and Michaela, they're united in everything.
And why is your father so anxious for you to fly again?
Well, there's nothing deep behind it, Paul. He thinks I need to get back to my job. It's what a man does. Mm-hmm. And he's right.
Can you tell me how you got to that conclusion?
Are you sure you have time for that? Because I just came up.
We've got plenty of time. I think that's something important that we need to talk about, especially if you're trying to push me for an assessment.
It's hot as hell in here. Yeah. We had a party for my son, birthday party. And everything became clear. I told you, my son Roy's a special kid. I told you that? He doesn't seem to need friends. So when we asked him what kind of party he wanted, he said only family. I supported that. I didn't want to force him to be anything he isn't. So all the uncles and aunts came, and the cousins, and everybody was in a good mood. And my dad, he got there early. He's establishing and setting up everything and just acting like he owns the place, ordering my wife around. I could tell he'd been there a lot since I left. And the bitch he married, she was there too, in the kitchen cooking, as if my mother never existed. It made me feel like shit, like a stranger in my own home. My father sees me and he gives me one of those cold smiles and... Alex, nice of you to make it. Listen, I could tell he had a wild hair up his ass about something, but you know what? I didn't ask, because when he wants to share, he shares, and then he's all over me. And, you know, I'm in no rush to get there. But you know, he is great with Roy, though. They connect. Somehow it's easy for them.
Did you feel like you weren't connecting with Roy?
You know, there are a lot of people there. We didn't have much time alone.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen a lot of him since you left home?
Once, twice. I don't know what you consider a lot.
Did he ever ask why you weren't living at home anymore?
Yeah, I told him that his dad was on a special mission. I mean, I'm gone half the time. He's used to it. Tell you the truth, I think it's been a relief for him.
Well, why would it be a relief for his dad to be away?
You fucking...
It was loose as hell at the party. I mean, he's running around, he's playing with his cousins, he's talking to everybody. You should have seen him. He was a different person. He was open, he was outgoing. It's like he bloomed in my absence. Well, not bloomed. Jeez, he's not a fucking flower. It's like he spread his wings. Yeah, that's what it was like.
But maybe he was happy because you were there. Maybe because he was just glad to see you. You know, it's interesting when you talk about flying, Alex, because you make no bones whatsoever about the fact that the Navy really needs you, that they can't do it without you. Yet when it comes to talking about your son...
No, Paul, the fuck down. The boy was having a great day before I ever got there.
Is it possible that you're projecting your own feelings about your father onto your son?
How do you mean?
Well, that you might be doing better yourself, spreading your wings too if he wasn't there, if he wasn't in your way, so to speak.
No, Doc. My being there didn't make the kid happy that day. No, just the opposite, in fact.
How? What happened?
I told you Roy was obsessed with chess, right? I got him this magnificent set. It was all ivory imported from Nairobi, just a real work of art. And he just looked at the pieces, mesmerized. But now, the board, that was only half of the gift. The other half was the fact that I'd been working on my own chess game, and I was gonna play my boy. So, sat down at the chessboard, everybody's watching. I thought I'd I'd open with something simple. The King's Indian, which is where you establish your pawns in the center of the board. Then he moved, and I counted. And he moved again. I counted again. And we're moving along at this real nice clip, and I think I'm holding my own. And then, I'll never forget it, he looked up suddenly. It's like a shadow fell over his face. And he stood up from the table, and he said,
You said it's not to do with me.
I'm not feeling well. I don't want to play. He goes back up to his bedroom, and I follow him up the stairs and knock on the door. He doesn't answer, and I crack the door open, and I see him. He's sitting at his desk. He's got his back to me. And I don't know if he heard me. I was about to say something, but I didn't. I stood there, and I stared at the back of his head. There's something about him. I don't know what it was. It broke my heart. And I heard these footsteps coming behind me, and I turn around, and it's my father. And he says, you know why he quit, don't you? I shook my head. And he gives me, that look that sees right through me. He says, he knew in 3 moves, Alex, you were going to lose. He didn't want to beat his father in front of the whole family. He felt sorry for you.
You think he was right?
I know he was right. That's my son, to a T. And then my father, he pulls me into a room and he just ripped into me. He says, you are pathetic. One thing goes wrong in your little cushy life and you turn soft as butter. He didn't understand why I wasn't eager to fly again. Or why I was away from home doing God knows what with God knows who like a fucking teenager. He says, you know, you disappoint me, boy. I raised you to be stronger than that. I raised you to be a man. And he wanted to know who put all these ideas in my head. Who turned me into who turned me into a selfish, whining little bitch? Was it the fags I was hanging around with? Or was it, in this one he really seized on, was it the shrink?
How did he know you were seeing the shrink?
Michaela told him.
You told her?
Yeah, I had to. I've been paying you cash. I was trying to avoid a paper trail, but, that means I've been withdrawing from the ATMs all the time. Michaela looks at the bank statements and she saw that there wasn't money there and she wanted to know where it was going. And anyway, look, I told her I've been consulting with someone about my thoughts. And that was the word, thoughts. My thoughts about me and her.
And did you get into that? Your thoughts about the two of you?
Nah, shut down. So anyway, listen, my father. Yeah, my father, he's in his whole earful. He goes downstairs and I felt like I'd been hit by a freight train. I locked myself in the bathroom and I sat there so I could just catch my breath. And when I finally got my shit together, I went back downstairs and everybody was around the chessboard again, watching another match, including Michaela, and you know what it was? It was my father and my son, and they are locked in this epic battle, matching each other move for move, totally out of my league, and everyone's oohing and awing, and they didn't even notice that I was there.
What was it about Roy that broke your heart when you were watching him in his room?
He seemed so vulnerable, somehow.
Vulnerable to what?
I don't know, really. Everything. Forces, expectations. Stuff coming at him that he can't control. I can't control. So I slipped out of the house without anyone knowing. It was for the better.
For whom?
For my boy.
Do you really think that your son is better off without his father on his birthday?
Yeah, I do. After that, I got in my car and I drove fast. And when I finally ran out of gas, it was after dark. I wound up at this bar that Sean and Daniel taken me to. And I started to drink. Hard. Looking at all the faggots prancing around. I felt like knocking somebody's teeth down their fucking throat. And nobody came near me. They didn't even look at me. It's kind of like they knew, like I had this invisible force field around me.
You said before that when you started telling me about the party, that everything became clear that day. What was it that became clear?
That I needed to go. I needed to get back to the Navy. Discipline. Order, yes sir, no sir. Knowing when to go to sleep, when to wake up, what to wear, what to eat, what to do. To get out of my own head. This is not for everyone, you know, this self-examination. Some of us, we just need to live our lives, man.
Why do you think you went to that particular bar?
I don't know. I wanted anyone to so much as breathe so I could beat the living hell out of them, that's why.
Fucking hell, I relate to that, mate.
But nobody did.
Not for the same reasons, but the anger, the rage of fucking addiction, frustration, all that shit. This show is too real, man. It's too good.
For exactly the opposite reason.
Ain't for everyone, mate. Therapy can be dangerous.
Anything other than yourself.
Educational shit here, man, for sure.
With your father, with your own identity, with what you really want for yourself. These things, they have to be looked at. Don't you think it would be better to deal with them here on the ground than have them follow you 20,000 feet into the air?
Wait. Are you actually expressing an opinion here? Are you telling me not to fly?
I can't answer that. It makes me feel like you're asking me to share responsibility for another major decision in your life. You know, go back to Baghdad, leave Michaela. I think we're way past that.
I'm not asking you to decide, Paul. I can decide. I have decided. No, I'm asking you, man to man. Tell me, what would you do with you and me?
Alex, if I was you, I would stay in therapy. I would continue to deal with the complex, difficult issues that we've been talking about, not sweep them under the carpet like you've been doing in your life. I can tell you one thing. They're going to creep up on you again.
But you won't tell me not to fly. You know, you're wrong. I don't make mistakes. When I'm up in the sky, that's when I'm in control. You don't get it yet. I am the best. Now, Paul, listen to me. Paul, don't fuck me up with this Navy shrink, please. Don't take my world away from me. Well, I think we're done. What is it, Dad?
Here's my cell phone. I want you to call me anytime, day or night, if you need to talk about anything. Okay?
Is that a thought? Soon I'm gonna be flying over the armpit of the fucking world. And I'll be thinking about you. In your chair.
Salute it for, mate. This is the truth doing the talking. It's rock and roll music, riveting drama, real shit here, mate. Real shit only. This show's fucking amazing. Fact.
Really. I want us to continue that.
Fucking acting and writing is phenomenal, man. Real shit, mate.
Bye, Doc. Take care, Alex.
The original might be even better. Israeli show. Fucking brew on the Israelis, mate. Homeland, they did that, they did this shit. HBO now to remake a show, though, mate. Or they did before they went shit. Look at. What a fucking show, man. So much look in just the expressions, mate. Right, if you're not engrossed by that, you don't want to see what happens next week, then you're that mad kind of person, man. Well, you are. It's up to you, mate. But I think it's a great show. I'm trying to educate folk here, man. I've been through all this shit, mate. I couldn't watch this show for a little while. It was too painful for me, man. Just hit too many nerves on that. But yeah, if anyone's liking it, mate, let me know in the fucking comments and bullshit. If it works, I want to keep this shit going for my damn self. I love this show. Next week, mate, big kind coming up, Alex. Next week, mate, he goes back to fly and doesn't work out so well, man. I'll leave it there for now, boys and girls, men and women. I'm women.